What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video, I'm going to be using Shadow Abomasnow here in the Spring Cup Great League Edition. Shadow Abomasnow has a lot of coverage and honestly is incredibly strong in this meta. Now, I'm pairing it with the core of Jellicent there on the lead, and also utilizing Trevenant as a safe swap. It does a few things for us. Firstly, it draws out a lot of Mawwiles if they are in the back. It is a double grass, and it also helps out if there are any Poliwraths, as Jellicent is a good counter to it, and Trevenant is kind of like a pseudo counter. They can both do well against each other, right? Because of Icy Wind and Seed Bomb. But Shadow Abomasnow puts in a lot of work today. What I will say on the moveset, I tried getting Weather Ball, but I kept dancing around between Blizzard and Outrage multiple times. So I ended up just sticking with the Icy Wind that I finally got. So I would suggest Weather Ball if you are using Shadow Abomasnow. If you're using normal Abomasnow, Icy Wind might be the better call. So hope you guys enjoy. This team was pretty strong. We have a lot of great wins, a lot of close losses, and overall this team can overcome bad situations. All right, getting into the first battle, we have Jellicent on the lead versus Ferrothorn. Really bad lead right here. We're going to go ahead and utilize that Trevenant safe swap, and we will draw out the Mawwile, the Shadow Mawwile. They are commonly in a lot of teams. They are used a lot in this meta, and thankfully Trevenant as a safe swap will likely draw them out immediately as we try to get to another Seed Bomb in time, but we don't get there. So now we're going to be looking to come in with Jellicent. The great thing about Jellicent is the resistance that you have to Fire Fang, Power Up Punch, Iron Head. You just have to watch out for the potential Play Rough, but typically with Fire Fang fast move, they will not be running Play Rough as we go ahead and let the Iron Head go through. And now we're going to look to commit to the farm down right here, as Hex still does a good amount of damage. And we have the 2-to-1 shield advantage, which means we're free to throw a Shadow Ball here. And they actually bring in a Shadow Victory Bell. So there is no chill with my opponent's team, but guess what? I'm bringing the cold as we go ahead and swap into Shadow Abomasnow 2-0 shields. Like I said before, I would suggest Weather Ball. I used some TMs. I kept bouncing around between the other moves, so I ended up sticking with the Icy Wind, but eventually you're going to want to have Weather Ball if you guys do have it on a Shadow Abomasnow. Normal Abomasnow, Icy Wind looks to be a bit better, as we're going to go ahead and shield the Power Whip, and then we're going to go for the Icy Wind right away, and that is going to be a good game. Shadow Abomasnow has great typing to handle water and grass type Pokemon. The only thing it really struggles against in this meta is going to be Fire Fang Mawwile and Poliwrath, right? Those are the two big ones, and Tentacruel sometimes with the Poison Jab. Good game. All right, next battle, Jumpluff. This is a tough one. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Trevenant and basically sacrifice it. The reason being is Jumpluff on the lead can core break. I used it earlier this week. If you guys haven't seen that video, Jumpluff is incredibly strong, but it's strong because it core breaks with its charge moves, right? It has flying and grass type charge moves, which is perfect for this meta. Now, because I'm bringing in the Trevenant, I'm going straight Shadow Ball right here. My goal is to get them low and then hope that they decide to throw all the energy so Abomasnow can come in. It could be double water in the back. Typically, a grass lead will have that. Boom! Down we go. So now we're going to try to play to that as best we can and bring in the Shadow Abomasnow to Powder Snow down. Powder Snow is double super effective, which is perfect. They won't be able to get to the charge move. And now we get to see what they have in the back, and it is going to be the Tentacruel. This is the thing I was telling you to look out for. I am going to opt to go for Icy Wind here. It's a little bit less energy than Energy Ball, and it also applies that debuff. We don't get a shield, but it still hits pretty hard. And now we come in with Jellicent. So Tentacruel right here, not going to do a lot of damage. We resist Scald, we resist Poison Jab, and Acid Spray. So as you guys will see, Acid Spray doesn't do that much. Poison Jab won't do that much. We are just going to load up on energy. Now, the question is, why are they staying in? Tentacruel doesn't have the greatest of matchups here against Jellicent, like we explained. So what is causing them to stay in? And my guess is potentially a Poliwrath in the back. So we're going to look to go for Surfs here, and sure enough, we are getting Shield. So they must be very weak to Jellicent back there. And my guess is Poliwrath. That's just my hunch right here. Jellicent is one of the best counters to Poliwrath because it resists everything, right? The Water Ghost typing against Poliwrath is phenomenal. And we do get the Tentacruel out of there, and sure enough, it was Poliwrath. So what we're going to look to do is we're going to build up to Shadow Ball here. We are going to go ahead and shield. And then I'm going to make a risky play. I'm going to swap into Abomasnow and then go for the Icy Wind. Why am I doing this? Well, Shadow Ball, because of the Icy Wind debuff, won't be enough to KO. I saved the energy on Jellicent, and Icy Wind here is allowing me to get the Poliwrath lower so that when I come back in with Shadow Ball, this should do enough damage. It was a risky play, boom, but it paid off. Good game. All right, moving to the next one. Jellicent on the lead versus Shadow Abomasnow. This is going to be a tough one. Abomasnow leads can be very difficult, but ultimately what we need to do is try to use our Jellicent to get rid of the Abomasnow if we can. There's typically going to be waters in the back going off of the team building of grass double water, water double grass, and so we go ahead and shield, and that was in fact Energy Ball, which is perfect because Energy Ball is a lot of energy that they use, and we land the Shadow Ball. That is perfect. We are able to farm down. I think we got a bit lucky right there. My opponent was maybe reading that I was going to try to bait with Surf, and so they risked it right there, but they did not get the biscuit, okay? So we now we see a Shadow Quagsire here on the lead. I'm not too concerned about making sure Jellicent stays alive and healthy, because if there is a Poliwrath in the back, Trevenant does well in that matchup. So my whole goal is to just try to get shield pressure down on this Quagsire. And since we can go straight Surfs, we're probably going to be applying that as we do get a shield right there. So now we're in the ones. This is perfect. We're going to go ahead and swap into Trevenant and draw out a Tentacruel. If it was Poliwrath in the back, they would have been stuck in a very difficult place, but the fact that we drew out a Shadow Tentacruel is really nice, and that's because, oh, boom, see ya, and that's because of its ability to do super effective damage. Poison Jab, Counter, and Fire Fang are the fast moves Abomasnow needs to really look out for in this meta, and being able to draw out that Tentacruel in that kind of situation is beautiful. So this game, unfortunately, my opponent just miscalled the charge moves that I threw, right? They were hoping for a bait, but ultimately I don't bait. We just go straight. Actually, I do sometimes, but I like to go for the booms, right? So good game to my opponent. I mean, I think it came down to honestly landing that Shadow Ball early against the Abomasnow, right? Which is just capitalizing on my potential win condition as we do take out the Quagsire. So, good game right there. All right, moving into the next one. Jellicent on the lead versus Lantern. Very tough lead. Obviously, we need to go into the Trevenant right away to get ahead on energy. They're deciding to stay in and load up. So I'm going to try to see if I can get a Seed Bomb through, and I do. Now this really starts to make some questions rise to the surface. Why are they staying in? Maybe it's because the grass in the back, as we see, don't have the best matchups against Trevenant. Maybe it was something like we are seeing right here, Venusaur. What other Pokemon could it be in the back? Maybe something like a Ferrothorn. Those two Pokemon don't do that well. Sludge Bomb is pretty nice in this matchup in terms of being able to do a lot of neutral damage. But ultimately, Venusaur kind of struggles because of the Shadow Claw damage that we are doing. So we're just going to go straight Shadow Ball right here. We're putting a lot of pressure down. We do get 2 shields now from our opponent. So things are looking pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and let this next charge move go through. And then, boom, we're going to come in with Abomasnow and look to Powder Snow down. My hope is that it's Ferrothorn. That's what I'm kind of reading right here, is a Lantern Ferrothorn core with a Venusaur. So that's what we're going to play to. We're going to go ahead and shield the Sludge Bomb and just fully Powder Snow down. Now it wasn't. It was Empoleon in the back. So we're going to go for Energy Ball right here. This is going to do a lot of damage. And then we are going to try to catch the charge move on Jellicent as they do decide to throw. The Lantern in the back still has a good amount of energy, so this is going to get pretty dangerous as the Dropek will land. They're going to decide to swap out. The Lantern comes in with the Thunderbolt. Again, they overloaded on energy in that matchup against Trevenant, so the Thunderbolt will almost take us out. We don't get to the Surf in time, and this is where, unfortunately, Icy Wind's just not going to be enough. Maybe I could have gotten to the Energy Ball, but ultimately the Icy Wind here, not going to be enough to KO. They will be, actually, I could have thrown the Energy Ball there. Yeah, just looking at the looking back at this. So slight misplay on my end, so Surf is going to land, and obviously they're going to take us out with the... I don't think we would win it anyways, and Polion does pretty nice with the Steel Wing, so good game. All right, next battle. Remember, you can't win them all, right? We do have Ferrothorn here on the lead, so we're going to swap into that Trevenant right away, and we do draw out a Tentacruel. So this is pretty nice, somewhat of a neutral matchup. We can do quite a bit of damage with Shadow Claw and Seed Bomb, and we do resist all the moves there from Tentacruel. So we're going to be going for the Seed Bomb early, trying to get a shield as we built up to that Shadow Ball. What's really important, when you're running a Trevenant, and especially in a matchup where even if the Seed Bomb lands... you're going to be able to do a decent amount of damage. You want to build up to the Shadow Ball because that is the harder hitting move, and we do land it. Look at that. Beautiful. Trevenant able to win switch here in the mid game. Now we do see a Jellicent come in, and we do have the 2-to-1 shield advantage, so we're going to look to come into the mirror. We are behind on energy, but we're ahead on shields. So this kind of evens out, or actually we're going to be ahead because of how much energy we have. I decided to no shield, and it was a bait, which is perfect. The Ferrothorn comes in, so we're going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball. This is going to make Abomasnow's matchup a little bit better, as we do about 50% HP right there, and Abomasnow now coming in looks really strong. Again, Weather Ball would help out so much here because it doesn't do as much damage as Icy Wind, but in terms of energy cost to damage, it is much more efficient. So I'm going to go ahead and no shield. They have shown they have Mirror Shot, which we can easily survive one, and we're going to go ahead and go for the Icy Wind here to take out the Ferrothorn. Jellicent in the back has a good amount of health remaining, but we are sitting pretty good where I can safely no shield this right here because my win condition, I can survive it. My win condition is with my Jellicent, and I'm going to have to shield this one right here. My win condition is with either with Abomasnow with a lot of energy or my Jellicent as they decide to stay in. So I'm just going to fully Powder Snow down, but I decided at the last second because they were going to make it to the Mirror Shot to swap into my own Jellicent to catch the charge move. I was really trying to risk it right there for the aggressive farm down, but I didn't get there in time, and now the opponent has to throw Shadow Ball in order to take me out. If this is Surf, I Shadow Ball them and win. So Shadow Ball, boom, takes me out, but now I have Energy Ball ready to go. So Abomasnow really dancing a fine line right there against the Ferrothorn Jellicent core. Boom, but see ya. Good game. All right, moving to the next one. Jellicent versus Abomasnow. Once again, very tough lead to deal with. Probably one of the toughest leads you're going to be dealing with in this meta, as you can't necessarily safe swap into Trevenant, right? Because you're just going to get deleted by Powder Snow and Weather Ball spam. It's going to be very tough, which is why I said you have to utilize the Jellicent in these kinds of situations to try to do your best to get the Abomasnow low at least, and then you're going to have to come into the mirror. So we're going to shield. It is going to be the Energy Ball. I'm going to try to get to this Shadow Ball in time, but they swap into Lantern to catch the charge move. This is very interesting because this frees up a win condition for me, potentially, right? It all depends on what they have in the back, but I'm free to come in here with Trevenant and just load up. I can easily let a Thunderbolt go through, but my whole goal is to get to max energy so that I can throw one Seed Bomb and one Shadow Ball without having to do a fast move in between. So we are at max energy right now. We throw the Seed Bomb, take out the Lantern. We have Shadow Ball ready to go. So if the Abomasnow comes back in, we're going to look to throw that right away. And we do. This is perfect. This now is going to be potentially getting shield number 2 here from the Abomasnow, which it does, and it was a charge attack priority event, which means we were able to deny them the ability to farm me down or knock me out without getting a shield from them, which is perfect. Now, this is the tough thing, is I think there might be another water in the back, but I decided to come in with Abomasnow regardless, because what I'm hoping to do is get to this Icy Wind. Again, Weather Ball would be better. I'm hoping to get to this Icy Wind in time, and we do just at the last second. If it is Poliwrath in the back, we have Jellicent. If it's another water, it depends on what it is, it's going to be Dewgong. So we should be able to win the race. They're at 3, they're at 4, they're at 5 Ice Shards, which means they do have an Icy Wind ready to go. But unfortunately for them, Abomasnow has an Energy Ball. Boom! Nearly one-shots. And then we swap into Jellicent right here to seal the deal. And that is going to be a good game. Very well played. All right, moving to the next one, Tropius Lead. This is another one that is kind of tough, and it's because you can't freely swap into Trevenant right away. So what we're looking to do is just soft lose this lead. I would love to try to catch a Leaf Blade on my Trevenant if I can, but ultimately, I think what the goal here is to basically let the Jellicent go down and then come in with Abomasnow and Powder Snow down for a lot of energy. Yeah, I got caught in the middle of a Hex right there, so wasn't able to swap out, as we will let the Leaf Blade go through. We're going to come in with Abomasnow now, load up on energy, hoping to get the full Powder Snow down, and we do. This is huge. And now we're going to see what they do have in the back. It's going to be Poliwrath, so I'm going to go ahead and go for Icy Wind for the shield baiting opportunity right here. As they might shield, and they do, so I'm going to swap into Trevenant, but they have a Dewgong in the back, and this will just go to show how strong Dewgong is in this meta, is because of its ability to do super effective damage against grass-type Pokemon. Ice Shard is relentless, and unfortunately for me, that Poliwrath in the back has a lot of health remaining. So I'm going to go ahead and shield the Icy Wind. I'm going to try my best to get rid of this Dewgong, but I think I was loading up way too much. Yeah, I loaded up way too much. I should have just thrown the Seed Bomb right away. Not sure what I was doing right there. That was definitely a misplay on me, because now I just don't have enough health. I think I realized it right here. Oh, this is why. I have a Seed Bomb ready to go, so I'm hoping this gets the shield from my opponent, but it doesn't. They smartly no-shield that, knowing, which is a good call, knowing that the hardest hitting move left in the game, you guys have heard me say that time and time again, the hardest hitting move left in the game was in fact Energy Ball instead of Seed Bomb, so my opponent played that correctly. Well done to them. Good game. All right, next battle. Shadow Tentacruel here on the lead. Very nice for us, as we can do a lot of neutral damage in this matchup, and we don't need to worry about shielding whatsoever. There could be double grass in the back, which we do have good coverage for with Trevenant and Abomasnow. All depends on the grass, obviously. But we're going to go ahead and let the charge moves go through, and we're just going to look to go for Shadow Balls here. If they decide to start shielding and try to take me out, so be it. I'll just come in with Trevenant. But the Shadow Ball does get one shield. We can easily potentially let this go, but I'm kind of concerned it's a Scald, so I'm going to look to shield here. But it was just another Acid Spray, so that's fine. We are in the ones. We're still doing pretty well. Jellicent might be able to get to another Shadow Ball in time, and they decide to let that one go. So I'm actually going to counter swap into Trevenant now to get ahead on energy, just in case there's a Mawile in the back. 9 times out of 10, if the Mawile isn't on your team and it looks like it could be on the other team, it's back there. This is just what I found, especially with, it pairs well with, as you guys have seen, with the Tentacruel lead. Now I decided to go for Seed Bomb here, hoping that I can get to the second one in time, and I don't. Unfortunately, I didn't get there. I did get the shield though, but now I kept my Jellicent alive, and we're going to be looking to bring that in, and they actually have Shadow Victory Bell in the back. So they shred me apart, but unfortunately, I'm going to shred right back. I am full Powder Snow down. I'm going to full Powder Snow down this Shadow Victory Bell with the Abomasnow. Give up a shield here on the Leaf Blade, and then look to go for Energy Ball against the Mawile. Mawile is not as tanky as you might think, so this resisted damage is still going to one-shot right here. It's about 50% HP, right? Abomasnow, boom! See ya! Takes out the Mawile, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. All right, moving to the next one. Ferrothorn here on the lead. Once again, swapping into the Trevenant to get ahead on energy. We draw out Dewgong. So this is actually the ideal position to see Dewgong in, because Abomasnow kind of struggles against it because Powder Snow isn't doing that much damage. And we do get a shield as well with Seed Bomb, which is really nice. And what's also great about having the lead of a Jellicent into a Trevenant safe swap to draw out the Dewgong is the Jellicent can come back in and do very well in this matchup. We can easily let like 2 drill runs go through and just make sure we overload on energy. We will have to obviously throw a Shadow Ball here to get rid of the Dugong, but there's not that much fear in terms of I have to give up a shield in order to win this game. My fear is what is in the back. It might be a Poliwrath. Looking at the team formation right now, Ferrothorn, Dugong, a Poliwrath would make sense, a Tentacruel would make sense, so we're going to go for Shadow Ball right away, start loading up on energy, and the reason why I threw that right away is because I don't want to get hit with more Icy Winds, so that the damage is doing less and less, right? Because every Icy Wind lowers my attack. So now we're going to have to load up just a bit and go for a Surf now, in order to charge attack priority this Dugong, meaning we're going to front run him because we have higher attack, which is going to force them to potentially shield, but they don't, which is perfect. Now we counter swap into Ferrothorn, and it's actually a Pelipper in the back. So not what I was thinking. I was thinking Poliwrath or Tentacruel, but Icy Wind right here going to do very well for us because it is a lot of neutral damage and it lowers the attack. So in this situation, Icy Wind is very beneficial for us. I'm obviously going to decide to shield the potential Hurricane. It is going to be a Weather Ball though, so we're going to look to no shield this next one. I can easily survive it. Weather Ball does do a lot of chip damage here, or resisted, but we are able to survive, and now we are going to be able to go for the Icy Wind against the Ferrothorn. And what's great, like the silver lining, if you're in the situation I am where I only can use Icy Wind, is it does lower the opponent's the attack, right? Which means we survive longer when it comes to these resisted charge moves. So Bullet Seed is just not able to farm us down, and Abomasnow turns into a tank. They decided to throw the charge move as well at the same time, which is perfect because now we have our Jellicent with energy. We're going to swap into it and go for the Shadow Ball, but they decide to surrender. So good game, very well played. All right, moving to the next one. Jellicent, Pelipper on the lead. Okay. So this could go a lot of different ways. Pelipper is very strong in this meta if it's not facing off against something like a Lantern, right? If your opponent has a Pelipper and you don't have a Lantern, it can do very, very well because of its ability to have coverage and shield baiting opportunities. Weather Ball and Hurricane is a very polarizing charge move set, right? One's low energy and resisted, and the other one's high damage, high energy, neutral, or super effective. So this, unfortunately, is looking like a very tough position for me. So I'm going to no shield right here. It is the Hurricane, but my Jellicent survives with 1 HP and a Dream. What a tanky monster right here. We're going to go ahead and go for Shadow Ball now, as it does land. We're going to swap into Trevenant to get the farm down, saving our Jellicent. And every single time there is a Shadow Mawile in the back, you guys are going to find that with this team. Now, I'm not making it to double Seed Bomb, so I'm just going to throw straight Shadow Ball right here. And this, unfortunately, is going to seal the deal. If I had, if I had more health on Jellicent, like you guys have, seen before, I come in with that to get rid of Mawile. But unfortunately, I don't, and I'm just gonna get eaten a lot. Like, there's nothing I can do. My opponent swaps out; they have a Lantern as well. It's all over. Good game to my opponent. Shadow Mawile ripped me apart because I didn't get it onto the field quick enough. Alright, moving into the final battle here, we have Weezing on the lead. Weezing is another Pokemon that can core break this team. I mentioned before that Shadow Tentacruel, counter from Poliwrath, and Fire Fang are tough to deal with for this team, but a Weezing can be tough as well, and that's because of the Brutal Swing Overheat combination or Brutal Swing Sludge combination. It's going to be there's going to be some variations to the Weezings that you see, but ultimately what we're trying to do is play this like the Abomasnow lead, where we're trying to get shields and damage down on the Weezing early, so that something like our Abomasnow could come in and farm down with Powder Snow, right? We don't necessarily want to bring our Trevenant into that matchup because Brutal Swings will be doing super effective damage. We would much rather come in with Shadow Abomasnow here once we let this Jellicent go down. And again, Weather Ball, perfect right here. I don't have it, like I could throw it right here, but I can't. I have to do another Powder Snow. So now I have to shield. This could be Overheat, could be Sludge, and it is going to be the Overheat. So they decide to swap out, and they swap. Oh, They swap into Poliwrath with no shields. I can't tell you. Boom! How much damage it does. See ya. Let's see what's coming back in. It is going to be the Wheezing, so I'm going to swap into Trevenant now to catch the charge move. Because, I mean, they came back in and they're fearful of my Abomasnow, so I've got to keep it alive. I don't know what it could be. It could be another water like Lantern. It could be a grass flyer, and it's actually going to be a grass. It's going to be superior. So I kept the Abomasnow alive because they clearly feared it in the back. Otherwise, something else would have come in to counter it, right? It could have been Shadow Mawile that came in. But unfortunately for this superior, it's not going to be able to get enough energy in order to win this game. So we will be able to go for the Icy Wind here. Again, Weather Ball, we would have had it already. We wouldn't have had to use do another fast move right there. So Icy Wind, boom, will KO. That is going to be a good battle. This team, a lot of fun. You guys saw the ups and downs of this team, the capabilities of it in tough situations, the Pokemon that do very well. We'll go ahead and bring it back to the beginning. The Pokemon that do very well against it, and you just want to try your best to draw those out onto the field. So the toughest thing to overcome, like you guys saw, was the Shadow Mawile teams. And if there's something like a Tentacruel or a Pelipper on the lead, maybe even a Jellicent, there could be a Shadow Mawile in the back, or just a Mawile in general, because they have good polarity with each other, so which is why you're going to use that Trevenant as a safe swap. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Today's team, a lot of fun, pretty strong. Abomasnow is really great in this meta, and like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.